Hello and welcome to Soul Gamer 78's final E3 press conference overview. Today we'll be reviewing the third-party conferences: Bethesda, Square Enix, Ubisoft, and EA, and maybe the PC conference if I think they're necessary enough. Before we start that though, I like to compare the last three: Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. I want to state the order since they are the console makers. If I'm gonna have to say who won, you already know it's Sony. Second place is Microsoft. Dead place, dead last. No, not even that. I can't even say it. Far below the other two. Far below the other two is Nintendo. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start off with Bethesda. Again, if you have listened to my Sony E3 press conference overview, you would know that Bethesda is one of my favorites third-party developers. They started off with Doom 4. We knew it was gonna be there, but it was still great. They showed us gameplay. They showed us something we didn't know it was gonna be there. They showed us customizable stages. It was fantastic. It was gory, and it was a great way to start off E3 in its entirety. The Dishonored 2 trailer, I mean, it looks interesting, but they only showed a trailer, so it isn't as hype as, let's say, if they have shown both a trailer and gameplay footage. Battlecry, meh. It looks like a Team Fortress 2 one. It looks like a Team Fortress 2 competitor. It looks interesting, but again, they only showed a trailer, so it's not as hype as it could have been. Elder Scrolls Online, I'm not sure how many people actually care about that game. I mean, I guess they had to show it somewhere, but, you know, whatever. The weakest part of the Bethesda E3 presentation, in my opinion, was Elder Scrolls Legend. I'm not sure, because there is no gameplay footage, but it kind of looks like a Hearthstone rip-off. I'm not sure how many card games for that matter, can even compare with Hearthstone. But, honest to God, even if it is a good game, I don't think they should have showed it at E3. But, you know, they showed it, whatever. Next, they showed Fallout. They showed Fallout for a long time. I believe it was nearly half the press conference. The Fallout 4, they showed it, they succeeded in showing it, and they spent a lot of time showing it. Here's the thing. Even though it was half an hour, I was entertained throughout the whole time. I don't understand why some other developers can't think they can show a single game for a long time and still have it be an enjoyable E3. Fallout 4. First, they showed the world and the gameplay. It started off great. They delved into Fallout Shelter for some reason. It looks good, and the fact that it was coming out the day that the press conference ended was a big major bonus for that game. But the thing that got me most excited was how much customization was in Fallout 4. And Todd Howard, let's just say it right now, Todd Howard is gonna be the new Gabe Newell. But honest to God, the amount of customization you can do in vanilla Fallout is pure amazing. Even though Bethesda only showed a few games as compared to the other competitors, even though they showed less games, I honestly to God think they won the third party one. Out of the third party game creators, developers, they won E3. Simply because they showed games, they showed what we want except for Elder Scrolls Legend, and they left. The end. There wasn't any bullshit about trying to entertain the crowd with things other than games, which is something that has been missing from an E3 for some reason for a long time. Electronic Arts, they also showed a pretty good E3. They started off with Mass Effect. Unravel looks pretty good, but for some reason, game developers these days are just hooked on Yarn. I don't know why, but I mean, it looks pretty good. But then they just went into a long time of absolutely insane amounts of sports games. I was just confused throughout the sports games. FIFA, why did they need to show FIFA? It's a yearly installment. They do not need to show annual installments of games for an E3. They even brought out a Soccer Legend, I believe. But during that whole time the Soccer Legend was out, he did not even mention the game once. Which, I mean, I wouldn't call it boring, but it wasn't also necessary. It was a really boring conference until they showed Mirror's Edge. I am hyped about that game, and I'm getting that nearly day one. This time it is purely on rail. There's no on ground walking. There's no on ground gameplay, at least from what they showed. So that it's extremely exciting. And then they show Star Wars Battlefront for all the people that actually play it. So EA did pretty good, except for the moments where they showed the sports annual games for E3 for some reason. I'm not sure why they did that. They also brought out a Soccer Legend for no reason. Again, those were the bad points of their E3. Ubisoft had an interesting press conference. It was probably the most painful to go through just because of Akeisha. She was trying really hard. I mean, I can't even say anything else. The game they showed was good. From Wildlands, from Assassin's Creed Syndicate to Dark Zone. But again, Akeisha, also South Park forgot to mention that. But Akeisha's performance at E3 kind of brought it down a bit, honest to God. So they're probably gonna be somewhere in the middle. Square Enix, they did great. If all their games weren't already, if most of their games weren't already shown at the Sony press conference, I was just confused. Why would most of the games that Square Enix shown were already at other press conferences, except for Just Cause 3 and Kingdom Hearts 3. Those two were hype as hell, so I want to give them a high score. But, I mean, most of the games they already shown, we already knew about because they were at other E3 press conferences, which was surprising. The PC press conference, I'm not even sure if I want to talk about the PC press conference. It wasn't a total disappointment, but it also wasn't the best one either. Let's just skip the PC press conference. If I'm gonna have to put them in order, here is how I'll put them in order. Bethesda, in my opinion, is the number one of the developer part of E3. Next is Square Enix. Even though the games they showed were already at other E3 press conferences, I really can't take it off that much. I mean, they showed good games, they showed big reveals. That's good enough for E3 for me. Next would probably be Electronic Arts. Honest to God, Ubisoft was good, but they just didn't have as much games as Electronic Arts. The only thing saving Ubisoft was probably South Park and maybe Wildlands. I'm not sure. PC came in dead last. Like, I mean, they weren't the best ones, but they weren't the worst ones. If I'm gonna have to put everyone considering the console developers in order, Sony won E3, followed by Bethesda, followed by Square Enix, followed by Microsoft, followed by EA, and then Ubisoft came in. I'm not sure what place it is. PC, and then Nintendo came in dead last. That's it. This is the end for the my E3 overview. Thank you for watching, and this is OGamer78 signing off.